Last question is financial wisdom. What financial wisdom might you give on getting out of debt and staying out of debt? And that's both for individual and for a church. Getting out of debt, staying out of
debt. First, in reference to what you just heard, you got good advice. I am so glad my wife didn't hear that before we got married. She just married me for my good looks. Oh, she's not in here now, is she? Amen. Amen. Do this. Have you ever heard anybody say, you know, like they write a book on income or how to get rich, and they say, boy, this guarantee, you just do this and you'll get rich, and you know what happens? They get rich because you bought the book. One of those guys actually did that. He said, he wrote a book on how to be a millionaire, and he said, write a book on telling people how to be a millionaire. And they buy the book to become a millionaire. And that was it. But, you know, you follow those things, and you're not always guaranteed, correct? How about this? Listen to this word I'm going to use. Guarantee. I will guarantee. Now, I'm going to talk to the young people. I'm going to talk to people who I am assuming are not yet in debt. But if you are not in debt as a young person, I'm going to guarantee financial success if you'll do what I tell you. All right? And you say, well, boy, I probably need a good income, don't I? And I need this. I'm going to tell you the thing you need, and some of you already lack it and you'll never make it. Character. We were talking this morning, one of the smallest things in the world you would not think, I think is one of the greatest signs of a lack of character, and it's going to get somebody upset, is the snooze button. I have never understood a snooze button. If I want to get up at 8:30, then I don't set the clock at 8 o'clock and shut it off every 5 minutes. Don't make any sense to me. If I want to get up at 8:30, just sleep the solid half hour, pal. And when alarm goes off, I am up and moving. Bam, that fast. I don't ever hit a snooze button. You say, well, I think that lacks character. Yeah, they say, oh, preacher, that's such a small thing. No, it's a glimpse of a very big thing. Yeah. And the biggest problem in financial problems, the biggest problem is a lack of character. You know, people like to lose weight and they say it's this diet and this diet doesn't work. Most diets will work. It is that you cheat. Amen. You don't have the character to stick with it. And so what I'm going to show you is absolutely useless. Can't do a thing for you if you don't have the character, okay? But I will show you something that if you will, starting out, you know, now I've heard this. Probably the only thing worse than teens getting cell phones is teens getting credit cards. And they say that the average teenager in the United States, the day he graduates from high school, is like something like $3,000 in debt already, all right? And I don't think debt is a good place to start your life. So I'm going to tell you what my dad taught me. My dad didn't tell me much. He really didn't. We were not close. My dad was a very good man, which is why we were not close. But he was a good man, and he was old school and things like that. And he just got a job and kept the job and worked hard and always put the bread on our table, always put the clothes on our back. We always had a roof over our head. He never said he loved me, but I sure knew it by what I saw around me. And here's what my dad taught me. He taught me this very pointedly. He said, son, here's what you do. And now I'm going to use a figure, okay, just a standard figure, only for the sake of computing and math. And so we're going to give you a weekly income of $100 a week. Now I know that's probably double the Canadian average, but you know how we Americans are. But anyway, here's what he said. He said, son, if you owe somebody money, you owe some companies money, here's what you do. Let's say that you owe a company $40 a month. You're making a payment on something of $40. And don't come up and tell me, well, the Bible says, oh man, no, oh no man, anything. And so I don't owe anybody anything. We'll get to that. By the way, you know what it says you do owe every man? Better keep reading the verse. You know what it says? Love. That is not a financial verse. And so here's what he said. He said, here's a company, you owe them $40 a month. Here's a company, you owe them $60 a month. And here's a company, you owe them $100 a month. Sidebar, just a sidebar. This is standard teaching. Standard teaching is that your rent or house payment should be 1/4 of your monthly income. I'm saying $100. That'd make your monthly income $400, which means your rent should be $100. You say, well, make it $1,000. If you make $1,000 a week, you make $4,000 a month. If you rent a place that is $2,000 a month, you are going half your monthly income, not a quarter. Your average rent or house payment should be 1/4 of your monthly income. In other words, you should be able to pay your rent with 1 week's check. And now maybe a little over, a little under. I can understand that. That we're not religious on this, but if you're going 2 or 3 times your income, that's your problem. And here's what my dad said. He said, you owe this company $40 a month. He said, take a regular envelope. He said, just a regular letter envelope, and write the name of that company and put $10 in it every week. The one you owe $60, put $15 in it every week. The one you owe $100, put $25 in every week. Guys, even if you went to public school, okay, at the end of 4 weeks, 10, 10, 10, 10, you got what? You got what you needed. At the end of this month, you know what you got? You got $60. You know what you got? You got $100. And if you were doing the math, you know what this all comes to? You know what these two come up? These come up to what? $50 a week, right? What does that mean? Out of the 100, how much do you have left? You have $50 a week left, correct? And so if you will do this, if you will set aside this amount, right? You're going to buy this and you owe this. And this is how simple this is. And that's all there is to it. That is all there is to it. I was teaching in a Bible college back in Ohio a number of years ago. One of my students came to me. He said, I'm having trouble with my finances. And so I said, okay. He asked me if I'd help him. I said, I will. I said, I need 2 things from you. I said, I need to know absolutely every source of income you have. I don't just want your check. You're working a job, but are you delivering papers and you get a little bit more income like that? Or you help them grade papers? Or, I want all your income. I have to know everything you're getting in a month. I have to know everything that are your bills. I'm not asking, your burger money or anything like that, but all of your bills, the money that you owe people to in a month. And so he was honest. He gave me both figures. And I worked for probably a couple of days. And I came out, now here's how it worked out. He had about 6 or 7 things that he was owing money to. And they weren't exactly, so easily to figure, but I worked this thing out. And at the end of the week, this guy had left over $2. You say, that's horrible. Are you kidding? Doesn't that mean he can pay his bills and have money left over? Why is that horrible? I know I can't go get burgers. Oh, well, but see, the violin lessons were free. And so, but here's the thing. I called him in. I said, here's what you got. I showed this whole thing. He goes, first question, well, how much do I have left over at the end of the week? I said, man, you get to pocket $2. I was excited. He wasn't too excited. I said, yeah, but here's what you're not seeing. On this scale, in 3 months, I told you he had about 6 of them. I said, in 3 months, this one here is going to be gone. This one here is going to be gone. And this one here is going to be, you're going to pay 3 of your creditors off, or you're going to pay 2 of them off in 3 months. And in 6 months, or at the end of that 3 months, now you're going to have about $20 a week left over. And at the end of 6 months, you're going to be down to nothing but 2 creditors. And at that point, man, you're going to have like $50, $70 left over every week. So inside of 6 months, this guy stands to have really some good pocket money. But for the first 3 months, he's only going to have $2 a week left over. And you know what he said? Well, I just can't go that. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I will help anybody. I'll give you my time, but I won't do it twice. And so he did. And so he came up to me, get this, 6 months later, he goes, I'm having some financial problems. Can you help me? I said, why are you having financial problems? Well, I just can't seem to pay my bills. Same story gave me 6 months earlier. I said, well, that amortization schedule, that payment, have you been doing it? Oh, no, I just couldn't go that $2 a week. 6 months, he would have been, but at the time he's asking me this, he'd have had the $70 a month, a week and left over in his pocket, not $2 a week. He goes, I just couldn't go that $2 a week left over, so I couldn't follow it. But could you help me? I said, no. I said, no, I can't help you. You know why? Because I can't help him. And I gave him hours of my time, and I don't care what your time is worth. My time is worth a great deal to me. It may not be worth anything to you. It's worth a great deal to me, but I will give it to you. But I'm not giving it to you twice. And so, guys, if you will do this, if you will take your bills and set it 1/4. I had a guy say this is because we are Baptists, and Baptists can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. You know, we can find a cloud in every silver lining. And I actually had a guy say, you know, if you do this, at the end of 4 weeks, you got this. At the end of 4 weeks, you got this. At the end of 4 weeks, and this guy got all scared. He goes, oh, well, so what's the matter? He goes, well, what do I do in those months that have 5 checks? I said, kid, if you don't do it with an extra check, I said, give it to me. I'm a Baptist preacher. I'll show you what to do with a check. But see, I didn't figure that extra check in, which means 3 times a year, this guy's getting his whole check and doesn't have to spend it on anything. So you say, see, he's not ending up with $8 free a month. He's ending up with $8 plus his entire week's pay once every 3 months. So the first thing is live by a budget. Second thing, this is real simple. Takes character. Some of you'll never do it. Don't buy what you don't need.
That's right, amen.
Very simply, don't buy what you don't need. But no, I'm sorry. Nope, I take that back. Don't write that down. Don't buy what you don't have money for. See, if I put need at the end of that, my goodness, you need sock warmers. You need 85 pairs of shoes. You need the latest iPad. You need everything. No, don't buy what you don't have money for. To this day, if we need something and don't have the money for it, we don't get it. Well, then I'll do without. That's called character. And there's a generation, and I'm not being critical to the young people here. I really am not. I am telling you, you are no more evil than your parents, but you are victims to some philosophies that have been passed down that your parents got suckered into. And you get this, you deserve the best. You don't deserve the best, you deserve hell. Oh, you shouldn't have to deny yourself anything. You better deny yourself some things. And I'm just not talking about sin. Sometimes you don't get the ice cream cone. You say, why? Because you'd have to pay for it and you don't have the money. Don't buy what you don't have the money for. Well, yeah, but we really need this. No, you probably really don't need that. So, operate on a budget. Don't buy what you don't need. Third thing, save. Say, save what? Find something to save. You should, when you do this, you should have something left over. In that scenario right there, at just a mere $100 a week, and if you only have those 3 creditors, you got $50, that's $200 a month. Now, you're not going to save $200 a month. You're not going to save everything you don't spend. This doesn't figure in a grocery bill. This doesn't figure in gasoline. That's going to take some of that out. You might end up with $20 free. Put 5 of it away. I didn't say put the whole 20. I said put 5 of it away. I said spend $15 if you want. I think you might be a little bit extravagant doing that, but save some of it. Put it aside. Put it in a savings account. Well, my money doesn't make much money in the savings account. Yeah, but when it's in your pocket, it's easier to spend. You know what you ought to do? You ought to put money in a bank account and then forget it exists. Just forget it exists. You know what's wrong with you? Hey, could I give you this? Oh, if I could tattoo something on the inside of your eyelids, you know what it would be? Never use an ATM. Never use an ATM. You say, do we? Nope. We never use an ATM. We have a bank, they say, now, we go in, they go, well, what's your ATM card number? I said, we don't have an ATM card. Well, don't you use the ATM? I said, no. First off, I want my money out, they charge 50 cents. Well, you're going to charge me to take my money out of your bank, you stinking crook. But secondly, it's too easy to take out. That's what's wrong with an ATM. That's why we don't do a debit card. We never use a debit card. You say, why? It's too easy to take it out. Don't do things that make taking money out of the bank easy. You should put money in the bank. It should have a door that swings very easily into the bank, but it takes a truck or two to tie to the door to open it to get it out. I said, with your thinking, I know you say, oh, preacher, it ain't that easy. I'm telling you it's that easy. Never use an ATM, never use a debit card. Just don't make it easy to take it out of the bank. Live within a budget, don't buy what you don't need, save money. Now, you ready for this? Buy on credit. That is almost sacrilegious. Well, I don't think you ought to buy anything on credit. Neither do I, but you got to. You know what my wife and I did when we first married? We didn't have enough money to make a major payment, a major purchase for the first 4 years of our marriage. When we were married 4 years, we bought a washing machine. You ready for this? The monthly payment on that washing machine for the next 4 years was $8 a month. We were expected to pay $8 a month for the next 4 years. And we had the money, believe it or not. We didn't even make the purchase. We had the money to pay for the washing machine. We had the money. You say, why'd you pay for it? Because one of these days you are going to buy something on credit. Well, I'm not buying anything on credit. Well, unless you can drop $30,000 down for a car, $250,000 for a house, well, I'm not going to buy a house that expensive. You still got to have some large amounts of cash. And if you got it, good for you. Most people are going to have credit to buy a house or a car. If nothing else, just those two, plus your airplane and your boat. But, and so you know what we did? We did this intentionally. We had the money to pay for this washer. Or I think it was, maybe one of the washers was a freezer. We paid, instead of walking in and paying for the freezer, we bought it on credit, $8 a month for 4 years, and put away $8 a week. And at the end of every month, instead of paying $8, we paid $32. We're paying 4 times the payment. We paid it off in 1 year, not 4 years. You say, well, so what did that do for you? In 2009, you know what we did? We bought 2 $250,000 motorhomes in the same year. You say, why'd you do that? Because the first one was the RV from hell. And we had it 7 months and we got rid of it. Now we have only 1, but we're still paying for 2. But you say, well, how did you get a loan when banks aren't loaning money? Because we have bulletproof credit. And here's what some guys do. They got this conviction. I buy everything cash. And then you know what happens? You need a big loan for a house or a car. And because you have no financial record, a bank doesn't know you. You are a good investment. You are not a threat, but they don't know that. So what you have to do is buy something on credit. Then pay it off way early. Man, I mean, that's like 5 big golden flashing stars when a bank looks at you. Do you understand? And I don't mean that you should buy every $400 purchase on credit, but you need to buy a $400 purchase on credit, pay it off 4 years early, so that when you have to buy a 30-year loan, you've got good credit. So you just establish good credit. So live on a budget, don't buy what you don't need, save some money, buy on credit, tithe. You say, why'd you put so far down? Because that's where I put it. I think you tithe off the top. I do. I think you tithe before taxes, but tithe. Don't rob God. You say, why? Because you don't rob God. That's what you just don't rob God. I just don't think do you think robbery's a good idea? Well, you rob somebody here, you could end up in prison. Try robbing God. I think you'd rather rob the guy downtown. You'd rather rob a bank than you would God. Don't rob God. Tithe. Well, I can't afford to tithe. Yes, you can, because the first tenth is God's, not the last tenth. Well, if I pay the first tenth, then I don't have enough to pay my bills. Then don't get so many bills. We're back to character. And you don't have it. So, don't rob God. But here's another thing beyond tithing. Now, tithing is not giving. Tithing is tithing is getting God's money out of your wallet. Beyond that, give. Giving is where it's fun. Man, it is fun to give. My wife and I love to give. My wife speaks and people give her money, and she's always had a tradition that 1/2 of everything she makes, she sends off to some missionary's wife. She helped buy a refrigerator for a missionary's wife in New Guinea. Man, you know how happy that lady was to have a gas-operated refrigerator because she didn't have electricity? And we like to give. And we'll sit around and talk. Say, hey, let's give somebody this much money. Say, I bet you got a lot of money. No, we would if we weren't giving. But anyway. But we support 26 missionaries on a monthly basis. We do not have a guaranteed weekly income. We support 26 missionaries on our own that we send them the checks. You say, why? Because we believe in giving. and it's budgeted. But beyond that, man, we hear about a church that's going to build a building. We send them $500. You say, why? I believe in that investment. I can't figure out this investment down here. I can't do this stock market. I'm not good at it. But I got this eternal thing figured out. But if you can't pay your bills, you'll never have anything left over to save or to give. And that's what it's all about. That's where the fun starts. All right, there you go.